We survived the battle, and now you arrived to help through the Dao. I would say our fortune's on the rise, no? There's a certain yearning in your eyes. I've seen the same glint in others before. I'm sure you will steer us true to Saint Anne.
I want to start this video off by saying I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan and I love Black Flag, I love pirates, and I can enjoy the slop that Ubisoft pump out nowadays. I'm not really allergic to a bad game is what I'm trying to say here. This is a huge exception though. It's not even so bad that it's good, it's mediocre at its best and downright insulting that they're charging money for it at its worst. At a fundamental level, a pirate game should have good looking water, decent ship mechanics, and really good exploration. Skull and Bones somehow fails to achieve any of these things to a modern standard. Even the wave effects of this game look atrocious, and you're always on the ocean. There's no island exploration, there's no boarding other ships, there's nothing. Keep in mind I'm running the game on Ultra in this background footage here. Even games that were released 5-10 years ago like Sea of Thieves, Black Flag, Minecraft with shaders, hell even Garry's Mod has better looking water than this game. The point I'm trying to make here is that your pirate game shouldn't have worse looking water than a competitive shooter. I implore you to listen to this fantastic voice acting and lip sync. Ubisoft are truly pushing the limits of voice acting in a video game with this one.
I told Captain Rassler the ship was as overburdened as a pregnant sow. We may have lost the British in the fog, but also the race against these cursed elements. And where were you, Captain, while the Exeter was hounded by British frigates? No doubt cowering in your quarters, like the filthy bilge rat you are. Find your own way to St. Anne, chum sniffer. I don't owe you a sliver up your ass, especially when mine's on the line. Why don't you ask Captain Rassler? His bloated corpse might know the way. Now fuck off, bilge rat.
The big dog chum sniffer sends us lowly chum sniffers into the wreckage of a ship. We're then met with a lock-picking mechanic for some ungodly reason. This is what the quote-unquote exploring consists of. This is where you can really start to see the muddy textures that Ubisoft are almost infamous for nowadays, especially on this spyglass here. You could probably tell me that this came out in maybe like 2015 right after Unity as some sort of tech demo, and I would genuinely believe you here. Remember St. Anne for later in the video, the supposed pirate paradise.
You found a way to Saint Anne and a letter bearing Skurlock's mark.
Yes, you heard that correctly. The main pirate's name is Scurvy Flintlock.
Ha! What's a pirate's life without a little peril and mischief, eh?
After the intro of the game, you get sent to the elusive St. Anne, so you come into it expecting a sprawling pirate city, then it's just a glorified Sea of Thieves outpost. This is where the gameplay loop begins. It's essentially just Black Flag, but with boat levels, no exploration, no pirate fighting, and somehow worse ship mechanics. Let's build our first boat though, so we can have a look at their mechanics and get into the real game. This is where we meet the game's equivalent to Gold Roger from One Piece. It's essentially the main pirate king that's just ruling over everything.
Sure looks like it. Survivor. Come on in, Cully.
He also just calls you Cully for some reason the entire time he interacts with you.
Get it done. We'll never show your ugly mug again. You useless git. The British wrecked my ship, sank my cargo, but shut you out. Hope you're not worthless.
It's basically the exact same as every single generic pirate game ever. Basically, you start off as some lowly scumbag pirate, then you become the pirate lord. That's the gist of this conversation. John Skurlock, and yes, that is his real name, similar to that of John Halo, sends you to a carpenter so you can build yourself a big boy boat.
So you're the kelp that washed ashore from the wreck of the Exeter.
As a side note, I fucking hate it when games just use random terminology that makes no sense. Why the fuck is he calling me a kelp? This guy basically goes off on another yap session where he tells you to collect materials, build a boat, and then he'll sort everything out for you. The problem I have with this though is that collecting those said materials is the most boring piece of shit way that Ubisoft could have ever implemented this. It's essentially just a quick time event that you do over and over and over again. You don't even leave your ship to do it. You just sail up next to a tree and then do a quick time event. It is so unintuitive and it is crazy that Ubisoft call this a quad A title. Here's what the mining looks like in this game, and it's essentially just hitting the green over and over again. The only way you can fuck this up is if your brain is genuinely rotted from playing this game and you just forget to hit left mouse button. The only difference that hitting the green or the yellow makes in this situation is that by hitting the yellow you get 1 or 2 less iron ore from it. There's no fucking difference, there's no skill to it. There's not even like a fun grindy factor to it because it's just the same thing over and over and over.
Metal spotted, Captain. It'll fetch a good pay.
Here's the wood cutting for this game. It's the exact same. You're just gathering the same resources, doing the same minigame. It just looks slightly different in the UI. You finally get a full-size ship and it's the exact same as the one in the intro of the game. As you'd expect with a Ubisoft game, it's the exact same as all their other stores where essentially they put all the shitty cosmetics available for purchase in-game, and then all the other ones you need to spend $20 to $30 on if you want a half-decent cosmetic. You would think in a pirate game, even one as bad as Skull and Bones, the one saving grace would be the sea shanties. Unfortunately, they even fucked this one up. All of the ship dialogue in this game sounds like it's coming from a megaphone. Whether it's from your own ship or an opposing ship, it all sounds like it's being shouted at through an electronic device. If you don't believe me, I can definitely understand. I would expect a game that cost $120 million to at least get the sea shanties right. But no, they do sound like this. Take a listen.
There was meant to walk the land, a pirate's life for me. Last year wine enough the sails to speak to mutiny.
That game would make
Land
sense!
still belongs in quarter bottom of the sea. The seas forever roll.
That pretty much summarizes the game. There's just better alternatives out there. If you want a single player game, get Black Flag. If you want a multiplayer game, get Sea of Thieves. I've basically spent the last 7 minutes rambling on about how bad I think this game is, but I'm curious to see if anyone actually likes it. Comment down below what you think of the game and what you'd like to see next from me.